Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, to say someone who's having not so great a week is Norwegian Cruise Line. And that might be an understatement. Earlier this week we had the Norwegian Escape in the Dominican Republic. Well, she was leaving port and she hit the sandbar. She hit bottom due to high winds in the area of the port when they're leaving. At first they thought, no big deal. There's probably not very much damage. But then when they inspected the ship, they said, yeah, we've got to repair the hull. Pulled back into the dock and unfortunately told all the passengers that the cruise would be ended. Now, they did a really good job. They entertained the passengers on board. The food was good on board. The staff apparently on the cruise ship was absolutely wonderful. Passengers had no complaints. They also are going to get that future cruise credit. They're going to get their money back 100%. And now here's a kicker though. They were flying everybody home back to Orlando. And from Orlando, that's where you're on your own. However, if you booked your flights through Norwegian, they would also assist you getting the new flights back to your home city. Great. Unless, of course, you did not book your flights through Norwegian and you're now on your own to make all those arrangements. Not only that, there's charter planes, and some charter planes are supposed to leave at a certain time. They ended up being canceled, not being able to get in, and leaving the next day, which if you called ahead and made arrangements for a flight on that, you see the issues that are there. People are now really complaining and saying it was just a complete madhouse at the airport. Complete madhouse. First of all, they took 2,000 some passengers and they dropped them off at the airport and said, your charter flights are coming and here you go. And then there was nobody at the airport. People are saying there was no assistance, there's nobody at the airport, there's no idea how we're getting, who to contact, what's going on. We were just dropped off with our luggage and told your flights will be here, and no one had any idea what to do. A complete mess. They said they couldn't contact anybody. People were on the phone for 2, 3, 4 hours trying to get answers. When they finally get a hold of a representative, the representative's going, I don't know. I'm just I'm a person who takes orders and bookings and things like that. I don't know what's happening with your flights. Yeah. From did everything right on the cruise ship to did everything wrong, apparently, in the airport. People are not happy. Once again, a thing that I like to recommend, and I should do this more often as well, is book your flights through the cruise line if they're comparable. If they're roughly the same price. $10 more per ticket is not going to break us, but look what happens if something goes wrong and they're flying you home. It can make all the difference where they have to assist you. That's part of their job, to assist you if you book through the cruise lines. As opposed to, well, we're going to get you back to this city, and then from there, you're on your own kind of thing. Do you have to pay for your own hotel when you get to Orlando if your flight's not ready? If you couldn't book another flight for 2 more days? It can become a very big expense. Norwegian Cruise Line has said to those passengers who needed to pay for hotels or anything like that, that they should contact their insurance company. Another great advice, always have insurance when you travel. Always, always, always. Even for a short little trip to the Caribbean, this can happen. Something can happen, and now you're out of pocket if you didn't have that insurance. It just makes sense to have that insurance, even if you go through a private insurance. You don't have to go through the cruise line, but have some sort of protection if something happens. Okay, more happened with Norwegian Cruise Line. Before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. All it does is it tells YouTube people are watching cruising videos. Let's share it to more people, and that's the way it helps the channel grow, and we get more people involved in cruising, which is only a good thing. And again, doesn't sign you up for anything other than saying, hey, there's another video, you might want to watch it. That's all it does, except it really does help the channel out and I'd really appreciate it. Norwegian Cruise Line also had other issues this week. In fact, right now, the Norwegian Joy just skipped its stop in Mexico and is heading back to shore because there are some propulsion issues that are affecting the way it can pull into dock and ports. So they figured they better get it back and get it fixed as soon as possible. So they skipped the port and are heading directly back to its home port in the United States. Not sure if any passengers are going to be offered anything other than the taxes and port fees for the missed port. However, they do say the next cruise that's coming after this one on the Norwegian Joy, they're saying right now, as of now, I've heard this before from other cruise lines when there's mechanical issues, saying that the next cruise should not be affected. They think that they can get it up and running and fixed and no problem by the time they sail again on the next cruise. I heard that before from another ship that ended up being sent over to Europe for repairs. So we'll take that one with, okay, they know more than we do. Let's hope that's the case and it does not affect the next cruise. If they don't get it fixed, does that mean that they may have to miss some ports on the next cruise? Does that mean that it won't be able to sail at all? They say it should be running fine. So, okay, let's hope that that's the case for the people sailing next on the Norwegian Joy. So yeah, bad news this week, all for Norwegian Cruise Line. So I'm gonna end the story today with some good news in cruising. The CDC, very quietly on Friday, made some little changes to the protocols for those that they call that, extreme vaccinated cruise, which is 100%, or the vaccinated cruise, which is 95% fully vaccinated, where there is no longer any restrictions for capacity in cruise ports. Now, where there was limits on you're only allowed to have so many cruise ships, you're only allowed to have so many passengers per cruise ship, in the ports themselves, that limitation is gone. As well now, as you can do personal things on cruise ships. Now, what I mean by that, some events that you couldn't do before where you interact with other members, like game shows. You could not get up and participate in game shows, close contact. You can now. You can now do a galley tour again, which we haven't been able to do since the pandemic started. Things like that, behind the scenes tours, cooking classes, all basically yoga classes, private session, all of that stuff is now okay for fully vaccinated passengers. So that's a great step forward. Nothing I like better than doing a chef's table and being able to tour the galley and see it in operation, or do a behind the scenes tour and go up on the bridge, or even just participate in those game shows where they throw a whole bunch of props in front of you and you have to work with 5 other people and you have to come up with a movie. They're going to say Lion King and you look at these props and we got to do like a still picture and depict the Lion King with all these props and you interact with everybody. Those are fun. Those make cruising worthwhile to do. All the little things like that. It just makes things much, much more enjoyable. And this is another restriction that's now gone. And that means the next cruise we go on, we can do some more personal stuff and maybe some galley tours as well. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.